Okay, hi, my name is Lauren. I am a former gymnast of Okanagan Rhythmics. I did gymnastics for 13 years, competitively from grade 3-ish to first year university. And through all of that, I missed quite a bit of school. But it all worked out in the end quite well. I think it does definitely put a lot of onus on the gymnast herself to make sure that is not a detriment to her long-term career goals or school goals or whatever. I remember in elementary school missing most of the mornings of school because we would train and I wouldn't get there till about 11. Remember particularly in grade 7, I was in Bairstow and it was quite a hard year, grade 7. Academically, they put a lot of strain on you, I guess, getting you ready for high school and all that sort of stuff. But it still worked out fine, mostly because of my communication with my teachers, I think. So I wasn't there till 11, but I remember Madame O'Brien excusing me from PE. Oftentimes I would get there, they'd be in the middle of PE or going to PE or other classes like music or whatever, and she'd have me sit down in the classroom and do more academic stuff that I missed and making sure that I didn't miss any assignments that were critical for my learning. So another time I, as a gymnast, would miss quite a bit of school was during the competition season. So whether we were going to training camps or competitions, we were sometimes gone for weeks at a time. And dealing with that around school, of course, is a challenge. But the way I got around that was talking to my teachers and talking to them early. So I remember as soon as the competition schedule came out at the beginning of the season, talking to them about when I would be away, how much I would be away, and making sure I got my assignments early, what our kind of curriculum looked like. And they were a big help. I mean, the teachers at Bairstow and VSS, which is where I went to school, were hugely helpful. As I think it was kind of they saw my commitment and they were willing to help me because of that. So that was a big thing, making sure I got everything done. And I would say I was oftentimes probably ahead in school because I would get everything done early. I would get the assignments done and hand them in before we went away, or at the very least not missing things. The second thing was because of that, I think I did a lot of self-learning. So I wasn't in the classroom as much as other students, but I got the assignments and I got them done, or the tests and I got them done. And so a lot of the material, with the support of my teachers, I learned on my own. And I think that set me up for a lot of success later in life, being able to kind of self-motivate, self-teach, and find my own resources. When I got into high school and then into university, I still did gymnastics. I was still away. I was still gone for a long time. I was very lucky in high school. We went to VSS, and our parents actually started the SPARTS program, Sports and Arts program at VSS, that allowed us to focus on our academic courses and get credit for the time that we spent doing our sport or art competitively as credit for some of the other non-academic classes in high school. So that gave us some flexibility, but still you had to be on top of everything academically. We had wonderful mentors and kind of leaders within that program that helped us do that. And so again, it was the same thing, making sure you got assignments early, making sure you got your tests rearranged if you were going to be away. That did happen, and making sure you had a focus on self-learning and self-discipline and getting ahead of the game instead of staying behind. And that was all just part of the package of getting to compete, getting that privilege of getting to train with Camille and compete. It was an understanding in the gym that if you weren't doing well at school, you weren't coming to the gym. You had to pick up your A game at school, almost literally. So that was never a problem in my cohort of the girls that I trained with. I remember our focus was getting our homework done, getting enough sleep, eating healthy, and going to the gym. And that was our life. And I mean, it sounds rigorous, but we loved it. So after high school, I always knew I wanted to go to university. I pretty much always knew for a long time that I wanted to do medicine. So I knew that grades, I use number 12, I can't remember, since age 12, somewhere around there, I knew I wanted to do medicine. So grades and schooling and my goals of getting a bachelor's degree and getting into med school were always there. And so I knew I had to do well. So I got into UBC undergrad, and I still competed for my first year of undergrad, and that again emphasized my kind of time management and strategies around balancing my sports and academic life. So I competed, and so I cut down my courses in the second semester so that I could still do the competition season, and made sure I made up for that by taking summer semester classes for 2 years. And that wasn't all I did. I traveled and I worked, and I was a member of a sorority at UBC, and I was the president of my sorority at UBC, and did a lot of leadership activities. For some reason, I suppose it's not a mystery, that I fell into a lot of leadership positions almost naturally, and I'm sure that that's because of my gymnastics experience. We learned through gymnastics, through Camille, through our experiences, I think big things were self-discipline, time management, leadership skills, and how to be a team player, and the value of a team and sportsmanship. Those values will carry you really far. In fact, they've carried me every step of the way, I think. So into medical school, I'm sure that my application got credit because of my committed, long-term, deep commitment to something outside of academia, and that was gymnastics and all of the values that I just named. Then after medical school, I got into residency. I'm just in my last year, my 5th and final year of an OBGYN residency at Dalhousie in Halifax. Last year at Dalhousie, I was the chief resident in our program. Again, I think that's no accident. That's some of my core values that I definitely got from gymnastics, as I mentioned, that have come through in my leadership style and my team player style, I guess. And now I'm just finishing. I'm about to write my final board certification exam for OBGYN, and then next year I've been accepted to a fellowship program to do gynae-oncology, so women's cancer surgery and care in Winnipeg, which in my opinion is the best program there is across Canada, so I'm very excited. And by the end of those 2 years, I'll be a gynae-oncologist working somewhere in Canada, who knows? And again, I think getting into residency, getting into my fellowship program, the discussion has, or the topic of gymnastics and what it has given me throughout my life has never been absent in any of my interviews or my application processes. I thought it would fade away. It never has. It's always been front and center. People always ask me about it because it's a core value of who I am. So further to how those values and how gymnastics has shaped me in getting to where I am today, as I mentioned, my kind of career path, I think that these skills really help me, not only on paper, on my CV, but when I've done all the interviews that I've done in my life, performing, competing, those are skills that you bring to doing an interview. For medical school, there's this multiple mini interview system. It's quite a rigorous process, and being able to perform and think of things that kind of how you relay different things in your life and how your values could help certain things in your career. They're all really easy to do with this background knowledge and with this ability to be a leader, be calm under stress, compete, and have core team values that really kind of make you a strong candidate. So that's been huge. I've done many interviews to get where I am, and those have always been front and center. And then just reflecting actually on this, those values have really helped me, or those skills have really helped me in my job. As an OBGYN, they of course train us very well. We have rigorous training. I mean, I've been doing OBGYN for 5 years, and they make sure that we know what to do in an emergency. But being able to learn how to conduct yourself in that emergency isn't just about the medicine. It's about how to take control of a room, how to be a leader, how to be a kind leader, but still being calm under pressure and performing. So I reflect on the idea of a shoulder dystocia, which is one of our worst emergencies in obstetrics. And it is a formula. It is like a routine. You start from point A and you work with the music all the way till the music stops and the emergency is over. But it's a sequential thing that you've memorized. You are sure you know what to do, what's the next step. And at the same time, you have to be that calm but present leader in the room. So when that emergency happens, you announce to the room, I have a shoulder dystocia and I'm doing A, B, and C. I need this and that and the other thing. And like 100% of the time it works. And I've always been commended on my leadership skills and my calmness in an emergency, my ability to learn quickly, my ability to memorize and learn a routine or the steps to an emergency. I've been commended on that more than once, and reflecting on that, it's definitely a core value that has come, if not partially, if not fully, from gymnastics and my training there, learning how to do the perfect routine over and over again. I think reflecting on overall how gymnastics shaped who I am now, I mean, there's no denying that it's a huge, huge part of who I am fundamentally. I think reflecting on my early experiences in gymnastics, that global experience, that sportsmanship experience, that being a team player and an ambassador to both our club, Vernon, BC, Western Canada, Canada, internationally, those were huge kind of core fundamental experiences that have shaped who I am. It was a huge privilege to wear the Canadian flag and to be a Canadian ambassador for sport when we traveled globally and internationally, as well as nationally, and forging bonds and experiences with gymnasts from across the country and across the world really opened your eyes at a young age, opened my eyes at a young age to the world and to what it means to live in this global planet. And I think that really gave me an ease and a leg up now working with patients from all different sorts of ethnic and cultural backgrounds. That was a kind of a no-brainer when we were going through medical school, and they talked about different patient populations of different backgrounds and different orientations, and how that was their goal to teach us to be comfortable and non-judgmental and bring an air of professionalism and compassion to taking care of all types of patients. And that's definitely been an easier learning curve for me, given those early fundamental experiences through gymnastics, as well, of course, of our teamwork and traveling as a team and supporting each other as a team has really shaped what I'm doing right now. I am a member of a very close-knit residency program, and we support each other. We take on each other's celebrations, each other's woes, and support each other through that. And I think as life gets busier and challenging, it's invaluable to have people around you that are team players and supportive, and so that will get you really far. And I think just fundamentally who I am is really shaped by those early experiences, and that's, I don't know, invaluable. Thanks, Camille.